Cause we like a minute late, and I don't really like being late. You feel me?
Back. Let me jump up here. Boom.
Cool. Yeah, I got the music playing in the background. What's good, DR? Good to see you. It's going down. Got the homie in the building. Antonio McCarver. What's poppin', fam? Good to see you. It's going down.
Oh, there we go. What? Hey, you blocked in the video.
What you mean?
Like on my screen on YouTube?
Nah. Okay. Yeah, I'm hold on, my fault.
Yeah.
My fault. I'm sitting here trying to set my thing up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There we go. What's good, Enzo? What's poppin'?
De'Ara, Enzo, what's the deal, family?
What?
Oh, there we go.
All right, cool. Yeah, man.
You're looking all right.
Yeah.
Well, that camera recommendation is legit, boy.
Yeah, man. Hey, I told her I'll take care of you. What's up, binary number? What's poppin'? What's up, Maurice? What's good? I got the homie in the building, Antonio McCarver. What's poppin'?
You already know what it is. What's happening?
Yeah.
Glad to be back. Appreciate the invite again.
Yeah, I figured we'd answer some questions today, bro.
All right.
Let me see. Yeah, I need to. You know what? Hey, holla at the people real quick, man. I'm gonna try and do something different.
All right.
So that way we can have a chat popping. You can be popping, and they can see kind of both of us talking like side by side. So let me try and fandangle something. I'll be back.
I'm gonna go ahead and share this out on Twitter. Oh, I can remember my damn password. What's good out there, people? Enzo, binary number, Maurice, J-Dub, what's popping? Miss Robinson, what's crackulating? Tonight, what's the chat about tonight? We're gonna do a live Q&A and see what y'all want to talk about. What you want to talk about?
What's up, man?
One of my peoples out there, Sabrina Robinson, was asking what's the chat about tonight. So I told her, we just doing a live Q&A, but whatever she want to talk about,
Yeah, for sure. But I also, man, I should have hit you up. I kind of did this on the spot. That's kind of how I do things. I put the homie on the spot. But I wanted to talk about moving up from being in that mid level to get up to that senior level. A lot of times I talk about that entry level and how to get into tech. But what I kind of want to talk about is some tips for moving up from that mid level to senior level.
Yeah, oh yeah, let's definitely do that.
You know what I mean? So, what's up, Taylor? What's popping? Lab every day. They are, you know what it is. We lab every day. We lab every day. Man, I'm trying to get this camera going, man. Hey, so what's up? How's everybody doing? Y'all got any questions? Any topics that y'all would like us to discuss?
Next move for you. That's right, dear. You definitely on the come up. Hey, yo. Oh Lord, have mercy, y'all.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so while we're setting everything up, anybody got any questions before we get started on today's live stream? He said, Lionel, he said, Nat, okay. You know what? Let me see what I got on that. Taylor Buchanan, what's good? He says, however y'all work in a knot. Yeah, I worked in a knot. He said, I'm currently working help desk at my job, studying for CCNA. I work for a large firm that has a knock near me, and I'm attempting to move there. Thoughts on a knock? Yeah, I can really give you a lot of thoughts on a knock. For me, working in a knock it was hard because I like to troubleshoot. I like to be around people a little bit. I like to work on projects. And when you're working in a knock, and I'm not saying it's to knock it, when you're working in a knock, a lot of times you're doing monitoring, you're doing first line response. So if there's an issue or outage, you're the one that pretty much routes the tickets to different engineers or different departments. So let's say a site goes down, you're looking at solar winds, you get that alert. Now you're notifying the people that need to be notified. Now, depending on the type of knock you're working in, you may be able to do some type of troubleshooting, pinging the device, contacting the ISP to see the reason why the link went down. And then if you can't resolve the issue at the basic troubleshooting level, you pass it on to the higher tier 2, tier 3 network engineers. Now for me, I was working in an MSP, which is a managed service provider, when I worked in a NOC. And I didn't really like it because a lot of times when I would see links go down, or if I'm monitoring the issue, if a customer didn't pay for a particular service, then I couldn't really do much. So my hands were always tied. And yeah, for me, that wasn't an enjoyable environment because my hands were so tied. Hey, what are your thoughts on that, Tom?
Yeah, so for me, like we talked about before, I got into the game by working in a NOC. Well, let me rephrase. I got into the Cisco side of things by working in a NOC. Now, mine was at an ISP, Verizon, but it was also an MSP, a managed services provider. And, we had multiple customers. So for me, the experience is a little different. Yeah, we had to open up tickets, but we were the ones that was actually doing the troubleshooting, whether that was testing the data circuits or the WAN circuits, to also investigating complex issues, because I was actually in a group called CMS, Complex Managed Services. And so we would get routing issues and stuff like that. And being that we were the ISP, we couldn't necessarily, blame another ISP unless there was multiple hops along the link. So we was the last. It was the customer, us, customer, and their local sites or whatever. But for me, it was a great experience because I learned the foundational stuff that you need to learn in order to even get to that next level. And going into what we said we would talk about, that's actually what helped catapult me from going from entry level, mid level to senior level, because in every organization you're going to have all three. And so one of the things that I did, which we'll actually, I'll wait till we get into it. But Taylor, basically, man, if you can. My experience was working in a NOC. I learned a lot. There's a lot of opportunity to learn because you're dealing with a bunch of different networks. My question to you is it a small NOC, or is it like going to a NOC for ISP, like a Sprint or a Verizon or AT&T?
Yeah, to kind of piggyback what you're saying, I do agree. I agree with you, Tom, that there's a lot to learn, especially if you have not been in a network environment and you haven't had that experience. You get a lot of basic troubleshooting, and depending on if you're in a situation like Antonio, you do get to dive into more complex issues. But you can also have a lot of downtime too. And that's something that you're going to have to be able to manage your time, because if you're in the NOC, you got that downtime. Sometimes people don't use that downtime wisely, and they'll stay in a NOC for however long because they're making $30, $40 an hour. But they're stuck in that because they haven't used their time wisely. So my suggestion, if you got downtime and you're in a NOC environment, get those certifications, especially if they're going to pay for them. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, so when I started working at the NOC, I was in what was called the swing shift, which was second shift, which was from 3 p.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. Eastern time, and there was always a dead period from like 7 to like 10. So we would take, most of us would start taking our lunches around 7, but after that, we really knocking out, studying, and if your goal is to grow, you're going to use every opportunity that you can to grow, even if things are busy. It's nothing for you to, unless you have to be on the phone, it's nothing for you to go ahead and download some training MP3s. Or if you can't get the training MP3s, pull the videos up on your phone, put the phone down, have your earbuds in, and listen to the training. Yeah. So, it's really, you have to change your way of thinking. When I got into sales, we used to do what was called Drive Time University, which was from the time, whatever time it took you to commute to where you was going, don't listen to the radio, put some type of training on and listen to that. There we go with the stress go. There we go with the stress go. Man. Oh man. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Hey. Look. Hey, hold on. Look, all right, man, you didn't have to stop, but now we gotta let them know what the gum is.
Go ahead and tell them what it is.
All right, so I got a family, 3 kids. I work. I do this YouTube thing. I got a business, and I do a lot of other stuff. Life can get a little stressful, and
right.
You need to know how to manage your stress. You need to figure out how to manage that stress. So rather than allowing this stress to just take me there, I started this thing where I keep a pack of gum with me, and when it's time to, I say take it there. I pull out some gum, I chew it, and so this is the no complain gum is what I call it.
The no complain.
So rather than complaining, I chew some gum, and sometimes you may see me chewing like a camel. I'm like, man, why are you chewing that gum so hard? Because I'm doing my best to be thankful for everything that's in front of me and not complain about nothing. My bad. But I'm not stressed because of y'all or YouTube. It's just been a long day.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, especially because I had a long night. I was on the phone with a very close homie, and we was on the phone for about 4 hours until like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah, that was. yeah, man.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this guy don't know what sleep is.
Yeah, I don't know what sleep is, bro.
I appreciate you joining. Sabrina asks, if you're transitioning from a completely different career, what moves do you suggest to get in the door and then start advancing? That's a very good question. So
there's variables to that.
Right. And so let me preface this by saying that there's no one way to do it, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. I'll tell you how I did it coming out of the military. And I know that was 100 years ago, but it has helped me. The principle has been the same. This dude, Lionel, said, I have a stress beard.
I wasn't even going to cut you off when I saw that. I was...
and I have me some 1942 or something like that. But anyway, if you want to transition from the industry that you're in into an IT industry, the first thing that I would do is hit Google and start researching what your market is looking like. What type of, I would just go to Google and the first thing I would type is IT jobs in Raleigh, since I'm in Raleigh. And take a look at that. And then from there, I would see what's hot and see what's in demand. And then I would check to see what's required to get in on that. Mostly certifications are going to be a necessary thing to at least get you the interview. And I would at least start there first. Then try to come up with I would try to find somebody that's doing what I'm trying to do and get a mentor. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. But to me, there's a lot of variables. Like depending on your age, you know what I mean? Depending on your age is really going to determine my answer to how you should approach this. Because somebody younger can take more time and find out what they really want to do. Somebody older needs to be more intent, direct, and waste no time getting to where they want to go in IT. Now, for all of you that's wondering about the different areas in IT, if you want to go the certification route, I just posted the CompTIA roadmap for the different areas of IT and what certifications are entry level, mid level, senior level. Check that out. And then, like Antonio was saying, hop on Google. You can go to like Indeed.com and search for IT jobs in your area, help desk jobs in your area, network engineer jobs in your area. You can even put certifications in there. So just type in A+ into your zip code, and then that'll come up with all the jobs that require the minimums of the A+ or CCNA or CCNP. And then once you determine that, now let's start diving into those jobs to see what skill sets they're looking for. And now, once you know what skill sets they're looking for, that's what you need to learn.
Right. I totally agree. And just one added thing to that too. Also remember that you don't necessarily have to go the technical route. There's still project management route. So for me, I'm about to be 42 years old. If I was coming into this brand new and I don't know that I would still have the chops to start at 42 as a with the family. I'm a single parent with kids. I'm in school, all this stuff. And if I'm not sure that I would have the chops to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and that's right, Aggie Pride, baby. I'm not sure that I would have the chops to just go ahead and be like, yo, I'm just gonna straight go technical, especially for some of y'all that may have a degree. I would look at the project management route. Having a degree cuts down the amount of time or the amount of hours that you need to have in order to be able to qualify to take the PMP certification. And you can go that route and not necessarily have to even be the most technical person, because project management is going to be necessary across any industry, not just, IT.
Yeah. IT is cool. IT is really cool, but there's so many ways to get it out here. And the thing about IT, you really have to be intentful on what you want to do and where you want to go. And the more you can focus on that and really know what your journey is going to be and your path is going to be, that's going to make that transition a lot easier.
Right, fact. We got another question. Okay, you know what, John? We've answered that a couple of times. Real quick and dirty, what's your thought about getting into IT at 47 years old? Get into IT at any year, at any age, but at 47 years old, you don't have time to play around, so you got to get busy.
No games.
You gotta really get out here and get to it. You don't have time to play.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Man, I'm trying to think how the best way to word this, because I think being in the right environment is going to be conducive to you being successful. Getting in the wrong environment can really hurt your confidence in IT. The wrong environment where people don't have patience, or people don't want to teach you, or where people expect you to know things, rather than giving you an opportunity to grow. You really got to find an environment that's going to help you, advance and improve.
That's a damn good point. But you know what? Someone in the chat, Herb, good point, Herb. Herb says, if you're 47, seek out ITIL or IDLE and Sigma Greenbelt to manage tech people. That's a very good thing to look into.
Yes, business analyst. That would be a great That would be a great area to focus on. Project management, like you said before, bro. Business analyst, project management, or something like that.
Word.
Yo, Rise and Grind said he need that rack. How much did it cost? Hey, I think I talked about this so many times, but I got the rack off Amazon for like $40. ASA was a gift from Ben. Shout out to Ben if you watching, bro. Somebody on the channel gave me ASA. The three routers, the 1841s, I paid like $35 a piece for those, or $30, and then $30 for my switches. That's my whole life. How much is that, Tom? Is that $100? That's about $120 for my whole.
About $100. Let me see. Yeah. I don't want to show too much behind me because
hey, we about to have this flexing limits. You gonna make me come up out this sweatshirt, boy. Hey, you gonna make me come up out it, boy. Hey.
Let me see.
Hey,
so
you winning with that rack, dog. You winning.
So yeah. So you know what? Somebody, but that right there, you see that black thing in the middle? That Proteus 2000. Y'all add that to your rack.
Add that to your rack. Hey, we mixing voice calls right now. We putting auto tune on voice calls right now.
Yo, somebody tried to flex on me hard yesterday, man. I posted my before pic of the collab rack. Yeah. You know the one. And they was like, "Oh, you only got one switch? What's up with that?" I'm like, "Word." Like you don't see the damn modules in there for the HWIC modules. They're not trying to stun on me, man. They're
not there yet, bro. They're not there yet. You gotta crawl before you walk.
Hey, I remember my first rack was 4 2501s. I started with that.
Yeah.
And in that I had this right here. This is a 2511 terminal server to connect. So honestly, man, get what you can. Don't worry about how old it is, because you just got to start practicing some commands, man, and learning how the stuff works.
Facts. Hey, man, but hold up, dog. So when I look behind you, right, you over there looking like you about to do a migration.
Well,
I'm saying the boxes. I'm talking about the CISCO boxes.
Well, that's
on the other side.
So, all right, full disclosure, right? So I'm in here, I'm trying to get things together to learn some stuff, and I'm talking to Dewan, right? And I'm like, yeah, I got to figure out how to set up this jump server, because, when I'm on the outside of my network, I want to be able to jump in and whatnot. And Dewan hit me so smooth and checked me so hard, and he did it so nice. Why don't you just use an ASA? That's all he said. Why don't you just use an ASA? And I'm like, man, all them boxes back there is for a security rack. And I was like, man, what am I doing? I got a full-fledged CCIE security rack. And I was like, you know what? Let me quit playing. So, that's 2 3850s, 2 ASA 5516Xs, 2 wireless, what are these? Yeah, 2 2504 wireless controllers, 2 I don't know what this is. Oh yeah, but I'm bugging the wireless APs, the access points.
Was them 3400s or whatever?
Oh man, I can't remember. No, I think it's a 25 something.
25. All right.
But the plan with all of that is actually to integrate my CCIE security and my CCIE voice collaboration labs together and be able to reach everything from the outside.
Yeah, that's a great plan, bro. That's a great plan. Yeah, let me hold on. Let me get this Enzo question real quick. Yo, Enzo, he said, how important is it to keep in contact with the recruiter if you turn down a job offer? Do you form a rapport with them? Hey, yo, off top, I have about 4 recruiters that I've been rocking with for like 10 years. And so from time to time, I reach out to them. They reach out to me. A good recruiter is going to want the best for you and understand your situation And yeah, they about that dollar and getting on placements, but at the same time, if you go into a position and you're not going to excel or you're going to leave that job, then that's kind of going to hurt them. So what they want to do is put you in the right position. So my thing is, if you turn down a position, cool. Just be honest with them. And if he's a good recruiter, you can build that relationship and repair that relationship, if they felt some type of way. And if they did feel some type of way, it's a million other recruiters. Just keep it pushing.
I could not agree more. To me, this industry is a lot about relationship building, which is why you really need to focus on your soft skills as much as your technical skills. Foster as many relationships as you can, because the turnover is high in IT and we move around a lot. And when you have good relationships, you can always, even though you turn down a job, you can always go back, because ultimately the recruiter they're not mad. They're not feeling some type of way because you turned it down. It's a million other cats out here that's trying to get that same position. They're just going to move on to the next person. So, but you don't want to be like, nah, F you, I'm good. Don't call me no more. I probably wouldn't do that, but it's all in how you turn it down and how you, how you leave that relationship open. A lot of this, a lot of getting on in certain places is about relationships that you've built.
Facts. It's all about those relationships. Let me see.
Yep.
Hey, I think somebody was asking you what's the best. No, they're not asking about. They were asking about a virtual lab. What's the best CCNA virtual lab? GNS3.
Yeah.
GNS3. Hands down. Hey, let me answer this Justin Williams one, bro.
Where is that one?
It's at the bottom.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, it says, how do you handle a bad environment? I'm just staying there long enough to get experience, and now I'm looking for something else. Been at my job for a year. It sounds like you about to handle that bad environment. It sounds like you already got it figured out, though, for real. If it's a bad environment and you've been there for a year and it's time to move on, it sounds like the universe is already giving you your answer, family. But for somebody that's in a bad environment, they just got into it and they don't really know what to do, my suggestion is make a plan. Decide how long you're going to stay in that environment. Decide, even before that, ask yourself, why is the environment bad? Somebody harassing you, then we need to handle that. If it's too much work and not enough balance, then okay, we need to figure out how to prioritize and maybe communicate with our manager. And if it's just a bad environment where it's just a whole bunch of conflicting personalities or your management or something, now, okay, if it's time to make a move or, and you can't deal with it, then you're going to have to make a plan to figure out how long are you going to put up with that environment, whether you have to go 3 months, 6 months, or you can't take no more, find another job like today. But if you can take it, let's say 3-6 months, then make that plan. If it's to get another certification, finish up your degree, and then make that transition into another position. That's just my 2 cents. What's your thoughts, family? All valid. And I'm going to piggyback on what you said. You got to have a plan. For me, I've been in bad work environments. And before I even go into JW, you know what, I'm going to get... Yeah, I saw that.
When I start a job, one of the things that matters to me is the benefit package before I get inside to know how the environment is. And the benefits is not just, what they're going to pay me. I need to know, are they going to pay for school? Are they going to pay for training and all of this other stuff? So as I'm creating my plan of my plan of attack has always been, what am I going to leverage to help me get to the next level? So if you're in a bad environment, one of the first things that you can do is change yourself to change the environment. People that know me know that my thought process is, I don't believe that darkness truly exists. I believe that only light exists. So if you see darkness, that just means there's an absence of light. So with that being said, be the light, be the change that you want to see, develop your plan, stick to your plan, and then, move on. when I left Verizon, it was such a toxic environment. I actually quit on a payday. Me and one of the managers, he wasn't even my manager. We had some words, a difference in philosophy about something. A customer was calling asking me to make some changes during the workday on their network. I wasn't going to do it, not without a change request. And because if something goes wrong, that's coming back on me. And so the dude got mad, got the cussing and whatnot. And I'm telling him, yo, dogs, you're not talking reckless now. We not doing that. So long story short, the manager gets involved and he's like, Antonio's gonna do it. So at that moment, I had to make a choice. What matters more to me? My name, my legacy, my pride as a man, or this check. And I'm gonna choose me any day of the week and twice on Sunday. So I typed up my resignation right then and there. At the time I was married, I called my wife like, hey, yo, I'm turning in my resignation. And she's like, you sure? Yeah. All right. And at that point, it was like hustle time. Now I got to get out here on my own grind and figure out what's next. But that's just me,
Man,
I don't even
look, you're gonna take this reservation and you're gonna get this 2-piece and a biscuit.
Hey, sometimes hey, you've been around, Dewan, they would. That's why I respect the no complain gum,
Man.
Because they'll try you. I literally had to tell my manager one day, this is, swear to God, man, I got tired of this dude. I waited till things got quiet. I followed him into his office and I was like, yo, dogs, if you disrespect me one more time, I'm going to drag your little ass across the street, beat the shit out of you, and stuff you under your desk. And then I went out like nothing happened. He came out talking reckless. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. But I don't right, I should have had that.
I'm about to mail you some of this right now because you about to get me flagged on YouTube.
I don't have a problem with that, to be honest with you, man. Like, and we're going to get to it, in the senior level position that I'm in now, my problems are different. Like, my problems aren't dealing with people anymore. My problems are dealing with problems with technology, so.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that. I want to get to JW next.
Yes.
It's interesting that you said your problems are different now that you're a senior. And for this live stream, we're going to talk about transition from mid-level to senior level in a minute. But like Antonio was kind of vaguely touched, is that your what's relative to the level that you are changes at every level. So the things you used to worry about when you were a kid, you don't worry about no more. The things you worry about in high school, you don't worry about anymore. And it's the same way when you evolve through work. You know what I mean? That's something I think we really need to touch even deeper on once we talk about how to get to that senior level and how to transition.
Well, definitely. JW, can a person with a disability get an IT job? So, yes, flat out. No company wants a discrimination lawsuit of any kind. And I've personally worked with people that couldn't see. The companies make accommodations for them. I worked with somebody that had, that was visually impaired at Verizon. And even here at CISCO, I worked with a young lady that was, visually impaired. The company makes provision for them, for everyone. So, yes, you can get a job in IT. What's more important than your disability is your knowledge. Don't focus on your disability. Focus on your knowledge.
I got another question about the disability. Are you a disabled veteran?
And that matters too.
If you are a disabled veteran, if you are applying for government jobs, that puts you above a lot. But also, if you are disabled, depending on what state you have, you get disabled preference for state jobs, depending on where you're at. So what I would do is see what options you have available that will set you up for employment in the position you want to be in, because there are organizations and there are opportunities out there for those of you that may be disabled, because don't feel because of whatever you're going through or whatever that you feel may be limiting you is going to stop you from getting the way you want to be. Because if you look at somebody like a Helen Keller, you know what I mean, and all the things she done with throughout history, and many others, you know, that were disabled and still made it happen. I don't know if you remember the dude in the Olympics that didn't have legs but just had the medal, the runner. You know what I'm talking about, Tom? The Olympic runner.
Yeah.
People move boundaries. People climb mountains and set their mark so people that are disadvantaged can have an opportunity. And just know that if it's something that you want to do, you can make that happen.
Right, absolutely.
And I'm praying for you, family.
Most definitely. Me too. Just did it. 95. Do you recommend people jump over to the VoIP side? Hey, you asking a collaboration CCIE? Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you go over to the VoIP side. I'm gonna tell you like this. Y'all got it easy over there because y'all just blame everything on the route switch side.
Here we go. Come on, man. Stop. Listen. We got to deal with servers and iOS. Y'all just got iOS, you know. We got to deal with choppy video and choppy voice, and you know, people talking about so the phones ain't working. Well, what you mean they ain't working? You called me on the phone, like, you know what I mean?
Right. I got a one-way call. People can hear me, but I can't hear them. Like,
right. And that's funny because a lot of times that's a that's a routing issue.
Now, see, he just made my point. He just made my point.
But yeah, man, I recommend. For me, it's my honest answer is yes, but honestly, do whatever you like to do, man. Like if you think voice is going to interest you, do it. You know, if security is going to interest you, do it. Like, you know, it's whatever.
All right. Hey, Tone.
What up?
I want to do something real quick.
Okay.
So I put a link in there for this CompTIA roadmap, and I know, we ain't really talking CompTIA, but if we look at this roadmap, I'm gonna pull it over. Don't mean to, cover your head and all that stuff.
Nah, man, you good.
But if we look at this roadmap, and we're talking about, let's go through each area that let's say we know about, which may be information security, networking, cloud technologies, hardware services, IT, management, and strategy. If someone's, let's say, at the beginner level or that intermediate level, then they want to get to that advanced and expert level. And how would you recommend we go about this for each domain, or can we do a generalization? Because this pretty much lays down the certifications, but then there's also the college route. So what are your thoughts on making this happen? And I'll put this link in here in the description. Right,
I saw that. And honestly, I think because there's too many domains to try to break it down by domain, especially when the principles are going to fit for all of them.
Facts.
Get your foot in the door. Or you've gotten your foot in the door, so you are entry level. To get to that next level, my first thought is be proficient and very sufficient at the level that you're at. Be dependable.
Mastery. 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 Robert Greene. Mastery.
Yeah.
Mastering the level that you're at.
Yep. Master the level that you're at. From there, make yourself useful. Don't just stop at, hey, I get off at 3 o'clock. I work from 7 to 3. And you know what? All I do is come in, I press these buttons to test these circuits, and I go on. Get very, very curious. Because as you grow, the way that, or as you move up in levels, you do that by asking a couple of basic questions, which is, I wonder. So be very curious. To go from entry level to mid-level, talk to the mid-level people that's where you are. See what they do. You may notice that they're not doing too much more than you. Uh, you may notice that you can do what they do. To go from intermediate, and then I'm gonna circle all this back around to the certification route. But to go from, I want to go high level first. To go from intermediate to expert, now that's going to require you doing what you see Dewan doing what you see Kelvin doing, uh, what I've done, and that is to really go beyond just being curious. Now we got to dig deeper, and we got to dig deeper on our own time. And then when we get to work, we have to have a desire to want to be the one that fixes or solves that issue. So even if you have to pass the issue on to the senior people, stay engaged on that. That's what I did. I would always, if I had to give it off to second level, I would automatically call up there, hey, this is what I did. Can I run up there and figure out how you guys fixed this so I'll know for myself? And I took very copious notes.
Right.
Dewan has had plenty of videos where he talks about your note taking, where he actually showed you how to use OneNote. And there's so many online repositories now. There's Evernote. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You got to get curious and you got to dig deep, and you have to look beyond the surface and then start asking questions beyond, I wonder to, how else can I do this? How else can I do that? And then when you know what it's supposed to look like when it's working, you can easily recognize what it's looking like, when it's not working. And again, to get to that next level, you have to, it's a good idea to talk to people that's at that senior level and ask them, hey, what did you do? How did you do this? Or, will you mind being my mentor? As a matter of fact, from day one, you get into a position as an entry level, get you a mentor.
Right.
But provide value to that mentor. It shouldn't be a one-way street, somebody just giving to you. Fact. You also need to be able to give to them. Even if that's, hey, let me take this off your plate. I can do this. I can't do all of that, but I can do this. Let me do that for you. And then do it with, excellence.
Facts.
And I'll circle back around to the certs though, but what's your thoughts?
You made a ton of great points, especially with the note taking. My thing is, when you're in the workplace environment, you have what you call one-on-ones, and you have reviews. My thing is on those one-on-ones and on those reviews, mid reviews, interview reviews, and performance reviews, and all that good stuff. What I would be doing is checking the temperature of your manager to see what opportunities are available to move up. And then in those one-on-ones, stress your willingness to do more and to have more. And so when you're stressing that to them, check his temperature to see, or her temperature to see what's out there. And if you see positions, let them know specifically the position that you're seeking. And once you say, okay, I want to be a network engineer on this team, how can I get there? Now, a good manager is going to give you a roadmap or ask you to create your own roadmap on how you think you can get there and critique it, just to see if you're serious enough about getting there. So once you do that, follow that roadmap. Now, if he says, well, you don't have your CCNA, get your CCNA. Now, if she says, you don't have your CCNP, get your CCNP. Or if they say you don't have your degree, get your degree. Now, this is in that company. They should have some clear roadmap if there are ways to move up. And then not only that, piggyback, start shadowing that team. Start providing value to that team to be like, okay, Antonio's been doing this, and he helps us out so much. His position was open. He's been in our face, and we know Antonio. We should bring Antonio aboard on this team. That's within that organization. Now, if you're not within that organization, I'll talk about that, but I'm going to pass it back to Antonio.
Yeah, and that last point was a very, very good point. When I made it from first level to second level at Verizon, it was exactly that. It was my tenacity in reaching out to second level, saying, "Hey, I want to solve this before I send it to you." Because first off, nobody wants more work.
Right.
That's just what it is. But also developing that relationship. When it was time for people to come up to second level, I've been in their face so much that they literally is like, you know what? Yeah, we know Antonio's temperament. He's always willing to try. He may not know everything, but you know what? Yeah. Let's bring him up for an interview.
Yeah.
And and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead,
from a certification standpoint, to me that's the easiest thing because there are so many roadmaps to it. Whether it's CompTIA or whether it's Cisco, even Juniper, AWS, Amazon Web Services, their certs, they have roadmaps to go from your basic entry level to your expert level, and each one builds upon the other. And so be honest with yourself, take inventory of where you are. I know sometimes it's not easy to say, yo, I feel like I'm ready, but no, I'm not ready. I learned that lesson going after my CCIE. My mentor and trainer looked me in my face and said, reschedule, you're not ready. And I didn't want to spend another $500 to reschedule because I really thought I was ready. But he was honest and said, you're not ready. And he was right. I wasn't ready. I failed miserably on that attempt.
Man.
So, I wasn't honest with myself though. I knew I had some weak areas, and I just thought that I could really, maneuver through those. And you can't do that.
Nah, you can't do that. I mean, it's easy to feel confident and be overly confident, but can you produce? And the thing about certification, certifications is like that meal ticket. You know what I mean? You get the certification and it's gonna get you that bag, so we believe. But the thing about that is, what's more valuable than the certification is the knowledge in the actual certification. And I think if you are looking to go to that next level from that mid level, now you're really gonna have to know the theory to be able to perform those certifications that you're actually doing without guidance, to the point to where you can mentor someone else to do it, and you can lead a design, or you can troubleshoot a large project, or you can lead a large project. Now, what does that pertain? You're gonna need to know how to document. You're gonna need to know that Visio. You're gonna need to know how to work with vendors. You're gonna be able to know how to follow through with customers. You're gonna need to know everything that you see your senior network engineer already doing. You need to know that and more, and build those relationships. So for me, following the right career roadmap, the right certification, doing that, and then once you do that, you can transition. Because for me, it took me a minute to get to where I was. For one, I wasn't focused. Two, I really didn't care because I was living my life and I was good. But once I realized that, all right, I need to do more in my life because my family's larger and I got responsibility. So now I need to focus on these certs. And for the most part, in interviews, I do well. But I could always do better. And then I finally bombed the interview. And then...
Well, hold on. Time out. We're going to tell the truth. You didn't bomb the interview. You thought you did.
Yeah, man, I don't really want to talk about it, bro. But
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right. Yeah, so basically, in the position I have now, initially when I applied for it, it was for a senior network engineer, and I bombed the interview. I bombed the interview, bro. I bombed the interview, and I didn't get the job. And the reason why I didn't bomb the interview, because to be a senior network engineer, one of the things you need to know, depending on what organization it is change management and the process of project management. Sometimes a senior network engineer may need a PMP, depending on where he's at and how large scale the project is and the structure of the organization. And that's an area that I was extremely weak in. So yeah, I bombed that, bro.
All right, I'm all right. Hey, all right.
But to go back, So I bombed that, and God works in His own way. I really don't know, and I don't have time to figure out how He works. But anyway, they called me. I got called back by the recruiter for the position. He's like, "Hey, another position open. It's not a senior position, but it's right up under that, and I think you're a great fit." And I'm like, "Man, how am I gonna apply for this position? I just bombed it. You really gonna? I'm gonna have to walk in there, and they're gonna be like, man, this guy did terrible." Well, I got on the interview and I told them. They kind of remembered me, and I was like, yeah, the last time I was in here, I really didn't perform well because it was a lot of project management based questions, and the position required that. And I know in my heart that I was not ready for a position that requires some skills that I do not have. But if you give me an opportunity in this position, I know for sure that I'm going to excel above and beyond what you're expecting. And I will also, give back to the team. So, yeah, that's pretty much how that went.
All right, so here's where I'm going to say you didn't bomb it, right? One, and then we're going to get off of it because I know.
Yeah.
All right. One, although it may have had aspects of a bigger picture that you weren't familiar with the project management, like that's just one aspect, but you bring other intangibles. That's why you didn't bomb. You have other intangibles that when they saw your name again, it wasn't an automatic, oh, no, fuck that. I mean, it wasn't an automatic, because I interview folks at Cisco, and sometimes we're like, oh, what the? Out of here.
Right.
No, so it wasn't that. So you didn't bomb. You just didn't perform as great as you would have liked to in that particular subset of things. But now, look at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we've all been there. I literally bombed the interview so bad. My very first interview with Cisco, it went so bad that it was a team of 12 people interviewing me. 12. And the dude that brought me into the telepresence room looked at me and said, "Well, I guess we know what how this went." I mean, it was literally crickets. They escorted me out.
Hey.
Yeah, so that's bombing, bro.
I feel you, man. But I mean, in all honesty, everything happens for a reason. It was a humbling experience because it was around Mother's Day, and I was home with my cousin, and I was telling her how hype I was for that senior network engineer position. And she was like, "Are you practicing? Are you studying? Are you preparing?" I was like, "Man, I don't need to do that."
Famous last word.
Right. Before I bang myself, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
I mean,
Aaron,
I'm being honest, man, because when I went out to San Francisco, fam, like, I knew when I went out there that was my job. Like, no, it wasn't nothing they could ask me that I wasn't ready for. Man, I get up in a whiteboard, I'm killing it. Boom, boom. Get the job, dream, make it happen. But no, it didn't work out like that. You know what I mean? Like, if I was single, no kids, I would be in San Francisco right now on YouTube. You know what I mean? And living that life. But I'm still living that life. It's just a different path. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key right there. I don't know how many of y'all caught that, but peep that. There's a journey that we all have. And your journey may not be like my journey. It may not be like DeJuan's journey. But we all have this journey. And it's ours alone to walk out. But we don't have to walk it out alone. So peep what I'm saying. You have a community out here that's willing to help you and drop the nuggets that we've been dropping going on, a few months now that I've been fortunate enough to be invited on these calls. Walk your journey out. But most of all, look at what DeJuan said. He went in there and was honest and said, I don't know this, or, if you give me an opportunity, I'm going to do this. That speaks to his character, his integrity, and more than anything, more than any certification or degree that you have, that means more. Your honesty and your integrity. But you got to start with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Have a high standard of integrity, a high level of integrity with yourself, and it's all going to work out exactly how it's supposed to. You may not get. I interviewed at CISCO 18 times before I got a job there. 18. A lot of people would have stopped after 5. They probably would have stopped after 2, after 3. I interviewed 18 times.
Yeah, I'm trying to get one. I'm trying to get one.
Hey, you know, and all it takes is one. I know some people that all it took was one interview and they was on and popping.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, that wasn't my testimony.
You made it though, bro. I mean,
yeah.
You've put in that work to get to where you are. You feel what I'm saying?
That's fact.
It's much respect, and you still humble. You ain't bitter, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now, and you know what, man? A lot of people ask me that very question. Yo, why would you still do that? Why you ain't mad about it? And it was like, this is what I wanted. Right. You know, I failed a CCIE exam 5 times before I passed. Yeah. You know, so you know that's you know, I can't stop. I know somebody that took it 12 times before they passed. At the end of the day, we both call CCIE.
Facts, man. You know? Hey, you know what? That's something I stress to my kids, man. Sometimes it don't matter how many times it took you to do something, as long as you was able to do it and accomplish it. One of my late mentors, Mr. Michael Thompson, used to always say, I used to be like, yo, I'm trying. And he was like, man, you're not trying, you're doing.
Doing. Fact.
You know what I mean? You're just not doing it well. You know?
And you know what? That's real. Because honestly, this is the first time that y'all probably gonna hear me say that I failed a CCI exam. I didn't really fail. I just didn't pass. Right. I just figured out 5 other ways not to pass.
Facts.
You know, and that's how I look at it. I recently interviewed for a position that I want within CISCO, and that's what I told them when they got to the interpersonal stuff about wanting to know about me. And I'm telling them that beside the fact that I'm self-motivated and I'm a Marine and I learned that from the time I was coming up, blah, 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 you know, I made a point to tell them, oh, yeah, and by the way, I may be a CCIE, but, you know, I didn't pass 5 times before.
Right.
And why that's important is because, 1, I didn't quit, but 2, I figured out different ways not to do something. And I can help somebody else not make those same mistakes. And I think that went over well.
Right. Facts. Hey, so I talked about transitioning from that mid-level to the senior level in your current organization. I want to talk about when you have to leave a position to transition to a senior position. Now, I don't know where you're located, but the best thing to do is find some mentors, like Antonio said, that are in that position, and ask them what skills that they think you need. And then hop on job boards like Indeed and see what skills are being required and asked for. Like, for instance, if they want somebody to know Cisco ICE or Prime or ASAs, or to be certified CCIE, find what that is and what's the most common and master that. So that way, and I'm not even saying master, become this all-knowing, but do it well enough to where you can perform it in a job and you can talk about it in an interview appropriately, I would say. You know what I mean? When they ask you those certain questions, be able to tell them solutions and how you would implement them, or how many problems that you have, be able to talk about how you would troubleshoot it and resolve it in an interview. And I mean, that's my suggestion on how to move to that senior. What's your thoughts, bro?
I could not agree more. And this isn't something that's just hyperbole. This is something I did. Like, I just told y'all I interviewed for a position that I want. In the interview, it was 2 parts of the technical interview. A scenario-based question of, I'm not going to go into details, and then it was troubleshooting. And I did very well on both, but I wanted to set myself apart. So after the fact, I went home well, I was at home for the interview. I went in my office and I started working on a high-level design document based upon the scenario that they gave me. I put it together, had it reviewed by one of my peers, not telling him why I did it, and then sent it to the interview panel saying, hey, this is what I would start to do if this was the requirements that I received from the customer. Those extra things like that not only show your determination, which is great, but it also shows them how you work. It also shows them a lot about you. It shows that my interview was on a Friday. It showed them that I was with, and I emailed them that on a Monday. So it showed them that I would take the time that's necessary to get what I want and to do it at a high level. So, you know, if I can leave y'all with anything, it's going to be this. Kill every excuse. One of the things that Alexander the Great did when he was conquering territory, this one time, I forgot exactly what battle this was, but he had his people burn the ships.
Yeah.
And people didn't understand why. But in his mind, he wanted to remove every form of every excuse that they could possibly have to retreat and turn around.
Right. Ain't no going back.
Ain't no going back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God, and I'll never forget that in those times. And Aaron, this plus that, brother, I'm praying for you. Please reach out to me if you ever need it. But there was a time when King David was on top of the world, went into a battle ill-prepared and arrogant, and the enemy kicked everybody's tail. They stole all their women, all their children, all of their riches. David's army wanted to kill him, and he said, this is the lowest I've ever been, but I had to encourage myself. And then he went and got everything back. So sometimes that's what you got to do.
Man, sometimes it's all the times, man. Like, man, that's all the time. Look, whenever you set out to do anything in life, as soon as you say you're going to do something, you're already the unit. I don't want to say the enemy, but just know that your obstacles are already being formed that you're going to have to face. Now, when you say you're going to do something, you can have two ways to think about it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be easy. And I'm going to do it regardless. So 3 ways to think about it. Now, if you think going into it like, man, this is going to be hard, automatically you already formed your first obstacle. Yep. Just by saying it's hard, you've already formed your first obstacle. Nobody else had to put an obstacle in your way because you already in your mind said it's hard. So what I say is that I'm going to write this down. This is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to write down, this is how I'm going to do it. Now, everything else, it don't matter. If you start with step 1, focus on step 1. All right? Then once you accomplish that, step 2. And before you know it, you've accomplished whatever you said you were going to do. But don't worry about if it's hard. Because if it's hard, that means it's worth it. That's my mindset.
That's a fact. And you know what? Just to even piggyback on that, because we all know that anything worth having is worth fighting for, and anything worth doing is going. You know, you're gonna face obstacles and opposition. But we've all been given a measure of intestinal fortitude. Some people call it faith. Some people call it guts. The fact that you were one of millions of sperm that actually was able to impregnate an egg and make it should be proof enough that you're a winner. That should be proof enough that you made it. Out of millions of biological secretion, you made it. And for me, that's all the proof I need that I can do it. It just may not happen in my time. There's a cleaning solution out there called Formula 409. And it's called Formula 409 because the dude that created it, he figured out 408 ways not to do it. But the 409th, he got it, and look at the legacy that was built for a lifetime. Alexander Graham Bell, not Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison. 5,000 ways of not to create 4,999 ways not to create electricity.
And then he finds Tesla. It takes it from Tesla, right?
This guy.
Yo, because sometimes you're going to have to get your thievery on and get what you want to get that bag. Ski mask way. You feel me? Get the strap, cuz.
Oh, God. Yo, you out of control. Hey, duplication is really stealing, you know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is, you know?
Hey, man, ain't nothing new under the sun, though, for real.
Hey, that's biblical, baby.
Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Let's get to some more of these questions, man.
That's what I was just looking for. Nathan, you're welcome. You're right. Perseverance is so key.
Yo, shout out to the moderators, man. We really appreciate y'all. DR, Adriano, Keon, I saw you in there. This plus that. Shout out to you, fam. Yo, one of the IT systems dude. Where you been, family? What's good? We need to get him on the channel too. He's dope on that VMware. We need to get him on the channel, bro.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Get him in a discussion. That'll be pretty dope. Him, and it's a bunch of people in this chat that are very helpful.
Yeah, most definitely. Yes, you do spy ESXi. 6.0, because 6.5 is track. Lord forgive me, it's not. I'm using 6.0. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm using 6.5.
Hey, 6.5 is great.
Yeah, I guess, but yeah, I'm using 6.5 just because it's the latest and greatest.
Yeah, I'm using 6.0. Any more questions? Because I'm not really. Let me see. Jesse, what advice can you give gentlemen? Can you gentlemen share about getting into a remote network engineer admin position? In my area, I just don't see that many opportunities and think about getting that remote position.
Hold up. I don't want to be funny, but he said in his area he don't see that many remote IT positions.
Why? Why? Come on.
Yo, hey, it's all love, family. I just thought that was funny. But yo, if you, I'll let you start, bro. It's all love, fam. It's all love.
Hey, my philosophy is like, because we've talked about getting positions a million times. My philosophy is get any position you can, and sometimes you may have to move. I was living in Detroit, Michigan, and the industry had dried up in the year 2000, and I ended up moving here to Raleigh. You know, that's what I had to do. So, you know, sometimes you may have to move. It is what it is.
Yeah, but, bro, he said he don't see remote positions in his area. So when you're looking for a remote position, you need to look worldwide. You know what I mean? Because if it's remote, you can work anywhere in the world for the most part. Unless you're just looking for something that's working at home. Now, work from home, you may have to be in a certain radius. But if you're looking for a remote job, what I would say is hop on Indeed and hop on these websites and just type in remote network engineer positions and don't even put it in the area. And it's going to come up with the whole country or the whole universe for those remote positions, because remote means you're remote.
Right. You know, my job is remote, and you know, it's what Dewan said.
Oh, he's saying he don't see many non-remote positions in his area. So office jobs, basically. Is that
right.
what he's saying? Office jobs.
That's how I take it.
Yeah. What's your radius that you looking? How many miles are you?
But also, where are you?
Right.
I
No,
mean, if you in Idaho, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
nah,
nothing
man.
against Idaho, but you know,
Nah, bro. Like seriously, depending on where you're at, like
right?
I'm constantly looking at the job boards, and depending on where you're at, you may have to drive 50, 75 miles to really have opportunities. Like I'm from Canton, Ohio, and if I type in network engineer, I'm not gonna see nothing in Canton and Akron for real. Maybe 3 or 4 jobs, but if I reach out to Cleveland, I'm gonna see even more jobs. You feel me? So it's all about the distance and the radius of where you're at, and the more remote you are, the harder it probably be to find a job because you got to think how many companies is actually in that area.
I was close. He's in Iowa.
Ah,
I said, wait a minute, did I say Iowa or
you
Idaho?
said
Either
Idaho.
way, it was an I. Yeah, bro. I got nothing.
Yeah, but Des Moines is little to be known. There's a lot of opportunity in Des Moines, from what my understanding. So
Right,
you may have to look in that Des Moines area in Iowa. You know what I mean?
right.
Or look at like the University of Iowa to see what jobs is at the college, or what is it, the
Go.
Hawkeyes or something, Iowa State,
Yep.
or state positions, or city, county positions, cities positions. I don't know. Homeland
Yeah.
Security, something.
So, Nathan, you know what? I'm in Raleigh as well, and that's you and I need to talk offline because that's not the case.
Bro, hold up. Y'all can't talk offline because a lot of people talk to me about Raleigh, and one of the things I hear about Raleigh is most of the position is for the military. So can you please kind of clarify?
No, no. Raleigh is. Last time this conversation came up, I did a search for just network engineer in Raleigh, North Carolina. 156 jobs showed up.
Say word.
Okay, I'll do it right now on Career Builder.
No, I believe you, but I'm just saying, for real.
I get what he's saying about them saying, you know, college. Listen, bro, don't listen to any of that. Apply. If you got the skill set, apply. Even if you don't apply.
Okay.
Matter of fact,
150
I'm
network
gonna search
engineers.
Raleigh Durham since you know they like to consider that.
Hold on. I'm about to look this up.
162 jobs.
What's the area?
162.
What's the area code? Because I'm going to do it myself. And I'm going to show it on the screen. What's the area code? Or is it, yeah.
I just did Raleigh Durham, or you can do 27560. That's the RTP zip area code. I mean zip code.
All right, folks. So this is what you do right here. You come over here to Indeed. You type in the job that you're looking for in the zip code. And once you do, I see 842 jobs in this area. Woo!
Nathan, where are you? You said two. Because earlier you said I'm in North Carolina. Oh, my bad. I thought you said you're in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm in North Carolina. Raleigh just doesn't feel accessible for me. So where are you? Where exactly are you, Nathan? Because 2 hours is Charlotte or Winston-Salem or it's Wilmington. You know, depending on which direction you're going.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I see 190 jobs for the CCNA. Now, that's not always network engineer, but that's 190 jobs.
Yo, do me a favor. Look up Charlotte. Because if you're in Winston-Salem, that's why I was just in Winston-Salem. I just came back. If you're in Winston-Salem, that means that you're not too far from Greensboro and you're not too far from Charlotte. I'm going to look at Greensboro on Career Builder. And if you don't mind, bro, look up Charlotte.
I see 577 jobs with the network engineer title in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And there's 30 in Greensboro.
Yo, North Carolina is booming.
Listen, North Carolina, hey.
Let me type CCNA, man.
Okay.
87 jobs.
I'm going to do that too.
CCNP. Yeah, this is how you pretty much job search, you know, to get more specific. But so CCNP level, 56 jobs. Okay, so let's CCIE. 25 jobs. The higher you go, the less opportunity it is. But at the same time, the higher you go, the less people that is at that position anyway.
Yo, it's crazy. I did a search for CCNA in Greensboro, and there was 3. I did a search for CCIE in Greensboro, and there's 30.
Woo! Well, man, have to get your skills up.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yep. Yep, that's Muhammad. I know I have one of my best friends is a senior manager in for Cox Communication, Pauls, out there in Atlanta, and he come on, man. Oh man.
Moving right along.
Always hard.
He's always hard. Bro, carry on.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Hey man, there's 257 jobs for a network engineer in Atlanta. Honestly, I mean this in the nicest of way possible. You gotta look. I mean, we've been telling you guys exactly how to look.
Yeah.
You gotta look.
And we're just showing you one job board. He's looking on Career Builder. You still can throw in LinkedIn, using the connection that you have, maybe at a company that you want to work for. You never know. Just hollering at them like, hey, I see you got this position available on LinkedIn, and could you put in a good word for me, or could you talk to the manager or something? And they may be like, yeah, just send me your resume and I'll give it to them. What's wrong, man? You trying to hold it in?
I'm still laughing about you. You caught what I said. You know, hey, you wasn't supposed to laugh about that, man.
Hey, man, look. It's few things I miss in life, especially drills like that. Like, bro, you cannot say something like that. Your boy is a senior manager at. Yeah,
you know, you gotta pause that.
You got it, man. Look, pause.
Oh.
And now for your previously scheduled program.
Hey man, we gotta get up out of here, boy. You are crazy.
Can you recommend a good monitoring tools that I should learn? SolarWinds.
So yep, SolarWinds and HP OpenView.
Yep, SolarWinds, HP OpenView. I'm trying to think of another one.
And honestly, I mean, it's so, unless you're trying to be on the development end, it's really not much to learn to it.
What, SolarWinds?
As far as monitoring, I mean, unless you like, you know.
Yeah. Look, SolarWinds, PTRG, yeah. I don't know. I've never been to an environment that runs it. I know what it is. I seen it in lab. Yeah, I had it. I used to run it in my lab.
Yeah.
But Kiwi Syslog.
Learn the stuff behind what makes it run. You know, learn how SNMP MIBs and SNMP streams work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Learn the brains of it.
Yeah, about that. That's the SNMP about that. About that. Look, it's already done for you. Just go ahead and copy it over. And then understand why it ain't working, or if they want you to monitor something else, then you have to dive in. But a lot of that stuff is already created these days.
Fact though.
I brought SolarWinds in. Facts. Cool, man. Hey, I believe we gave the people some good information today. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we definitely did. I always feel re-energized and encouraged that, the community is learning and helping. I mean, we're helping them. As a matter of fact, for those of you that's out here on the call, I'm trying to figure something out, and I need y'all help. Dewan has helped me tremendously in my journey. I really want to know how many other people out here has been helped by Dewan and his live streams or his mini videos that are on his channel. Hit me up on Twitter and let me know if Dewan has helped you. If he's helped you, I'm trying to see something for myself. He don't even know I'm doing this. hit me up and say Dewan has helped me. I'm amp_quest on Twitter. Hit me up and let me know, please.
Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm glad. I believe this has helped a lot of people. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and another thing, yo. Hold up. Let me stop this music, yo. I gotta say thank you, yo. Hold up. Let me go to my channel, man. Yeah, I just want to thank y'all. Like, I don't really be into my numbers. I don't really be into the numbers like that. But today, we hit 15K.
Nice, congrats.
And I don't know, man. When I set out to do YouTube, I was like, man, I just want to hit 10,000 and I'm cool. Well, really, it was just 1,000. Like, once I hit 1,000, I was like, and depending and all the people I've helped, I was like, I'm gonna leave it alone. And then I'm gonna hit 10,000, and did that this year. And it's like, I thank y'all, for the support, but I'm in it to help y'all and to get back to those, that are looking to get into this journey. You know what I mean? And so now we have 15K. I want y'all to know that I'm really thankful, for y'all support.
Big, man.
And
congrats, bro.
Yeah, next week, I'm going live every day. You know what I mean, for the rest of the year. So next week, I plan to do several giveaways, just to show my appreciation. So if you're in the live stream, you don't know what I'm giving away, but just know that some of y'all might get, a blessing, in which it ain't from me, it's from y'all. You know what I mean? This is giving back to what y'all done, because everything I pretty much get on YouTube, I invest back into it. And one of the things I'm doing, and I kind of let y'all know, is labeveryday.com. It's coming. A lot of the requests that I've had, to get in the Slack group, a lot of requests for merchandising and all this stuff is going to be there for the community. So just be patient and know that soon, I'm going to give it a deadline, which I've already set, but it's coming within. Before you know it, it'll be here. And I just hope when it does drop that y'all will embrace it, and it's everything that can help even more people. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it's going to be fire. That I have no doubt. Everything that you've done has been with excellence and has been from a standpoint of wanting to give. So I have no doubts about it.
Yes,
we
sir.
did have a couple of late questions come in. If we can grab Letitia Carroll, what are your thoughts on interviewing even when you have a job? Is this a networking or job? Is this networking or job hopping? Networking move or job hopping? My thoughts are, you are the CEO of LetitiaCarroll.com or Letitia Carroll Inc. You got to do what's best for you. I still interview to keep, number one, my skills in interviewing sharp, and there's never anything wrong with looking at other opportunities when it comes to your work or career. That's just my personal take on it.
Yeah, my take on it is that when you interviewing, you ain't doing nothing but really sharpening your sword. You know what I mean? Sometimes you take an interview just to check the temperature of the opportunities that are out there, and just to see where you can measure yourself and your performance for interviews, because you may be seeking a position, but you don't want to go in there and not be ready. So sometimes you may have to take a position in an interview you may not even want. Or you may walk into that interview, don't want the job, but you get into the environment like, man, I would really like to work here. This could really be what's up. So, I mean, if a job opportunity wants to interview you, I say, why not? Unless it's a waste of time. Like if it's a pay cut and it's a step back, yeah, don't even waste your time with that. But if it's forward movement, yeah, go check it out.
Yep, there's no harm in it, and honestly, nobody at your current job has to know that you're even doing it. So that's private and that's personal, and yeah, go for it.
Adrian, thanks, fam. Ryan, not on Twitter, but he definitely helped me. Hey, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad to know I helped. Yeah, I know I sleep good. You know what I mean? Because I know where my heart at and where my intentions is.
Right, fact.
You know what I mean?
one last question and I'm out. Do RTR? I don't know what RTR do.
PTRG.
RTR?
Oh,
No. Do RTR from Anthony? Do RTR include your social and date of birth? I got a 1 month contract offer, but found it fishy. Is this normal? I don't know what you're asking. I don't know what RTR means.
where's that at, bro? Is that at
It's
the top?
it's no, it's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm blind. I don't see it.
All right, so you know the last thing came from
This,
uh
Aaron.
Aaron. This
Yeah.
plus that. So
Oh,
look,
above that. Above
no,
that.
no, go beneath, go down.
Right here. Right here.
Oh, down.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The RTR. Do RTR include your social and DOB? I got a 1 month contract offer, but found it fishy. Is this normal? RTR.
I don't know what RTR is, but I'm gonna tell you like this: if your gut tells you that something is fishy, then it's probably fishy.
Yo, most that's you know what that could be a good topic discussion. Putting your resume out on job boards because I get a lot of emails from places and people that I'm like, how'd you get my information? You know what I mean? You really need to be. That job title may look good, but you really need to do your research on. Don't click no links in the email. First of all, don't click any links in the email. Don't do that. Security above everything. Research. You know, if the company name in there, do the research on the company. Research the person on LinkedIn to see what their LinkedIn look like. Maybe you're connected with them, but don't just hop on every recruiter that emails you because I don't be trusting that. What's your thoughts, bro?
That's a fact. I get. So number one, if I get a phone call, I'm automatically like, "Yo, who sent you? How you get my number, B? Who sent you?" I get hit up a lot on LinkedIn from recruiters, and most of the time, what I do is I talk to them about the position and let them know that I'm not looking, but I know that other people may be looking, and I'll like to pass the information on to my network of people. So that's how I still have a good amount of connections and relationships with recruiters and whatnot. So
cool. Well, hey man, this has been what's up. It's been an hour and a half, and I believe we gave y'all some time. We gave y'all some information, and above all, we gave y'all some service. So I hope y'all appreciate this. We appreciate y'all, and we want the best for y'all. We praying for y'all, and yeah, 100.
Back later, people.